So, Eric recently played a game called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which is one of my favorite games I played last year, and he said he absolutely loved it as well. So, in honor of that, I will aptly name this battle A Tale of Two Greninjas, because what occurs is very much hinged on Greninja himself in this game, and you guys will see exactly why as soon as we get into it. So let's not waste any more time. Here is a game I had against Eric on his stream. He, was like, we need to have a game. We haven't had one for a while, and I agreed. And we did some kind of UU-OU-ish mix about, and this is what we have. So I lead off with Machamp, which is a Lum lead, and I get the pairing up against Mienshao, which I don't want to face up against. Machamp's great to keep it a good amount of HP, especially to take on a lot of his threats later on. So I'm going to go into Rachi just to take the obvious fake out, which it does with a plomb, one might say, and after the lefties game, I should be back at full health. I think I just 4 HP away, Rachi. You're letting me down here, snoozing on the job, but it's gonna U-turn out, which is perfectly fine. I'm not too worried about it. And here I make a kind of premature mistake. I do an early game sub, which you should never really take the opportunity to do unless you are certain that you'll be able to make use of it. Unfortunately for me, he has a Heatran, which if I had the foresight and being like, oh, he's obviously going to go and bring in Heatran now, which I can't really do anything against, then I could have made a better play like Thundering on the Switch to just maybe get a paralysis. But instead I waste my HP because I literally can't do anything to the Heatran. I try a Thunder, which ends up missing, and that sucks. And it means that I'm going to have to bring Rachi back and throw something else out there for Heatran to tackle. So the best thing I feel to deal with the situation is my Politoed. I am a little bit afraid of him predicting the switch to that and going for the Toxic, because it looks like running Lava Plume, he's going to be the special defensive variety. Unfortunately, I didn't get the Thunder off, so I wasn't able to see. Lava Plume generally indicates that's the case. And fortunately, he doesn't get the burn as he goes for it on my switch. And now, the reason I pull a switch to Moltres here is because faced with a Politoed, I thought that Eric would be too afraid with his Heatran to stay in, and so I predicted him to go into his Trevenant. Now, my Moltres, as you probably saw from the last battle I had, is a Specs one with Hurricane. So, me bringing Moltres in on the predicted Trevenant switch puts me in a fantastic position because I get 100% Hurricane off with Specs, and that would be wonderful. But unfortunately, he isn't scared out by the Politoed, so when I bring in Moltres, I unfortunately take a Toxic, and then end up realizing I have nothing to hit Heatran with. So I'm going to U-turn out, and I know he's most likely going to set up rocks at this turn, so I think a good idea is to go into my Greninja. Now, my Greninja is rather special, because this is not your standard special attacking Life Orb set. This is a physical Greninja, which has, for most of the time I've used it, been utterly terrible and not done anything good in its lifespan. So, what I do is I substitute, and I manage to get the sub off as he protects with his Heatran, which is so fantastic, because at this point, he doesn't actually know that I'm physical. All I've revealed is sub, and he kind of has wasted his opportunity there by, protecting with the Heatran, and has allowed me to get up a free one. So now he goes into Trevenant predicting, the water move to take it nicely. What he does do is dodge a power-up punch, which I was trying to pull off. It was a little bit naive for me to try and do that, but I try and do it anyway. And then Trevenant comes in, and, I'm going to try and go for a Night Slash to do as much damage as possible. Unfortunately, he's running the Harvest set, which uses Citrus Berry, and that sucks. But here is the play, which makes me so happy, because he goes with the Shadow Force, and I know that if Greninja goes for a move, no matter if it happens, if it gets it off or not, it will change to the type of that move. So what I do is I go for the substitute, even though I have a substitute up, which allows me to dodge the Ghost move. The Trevenant doesn't break the substitute. He is unfortunately going to go down for him, obviously, to a Night Slash, and that, my friends, just made my fucking night. Oh my lord. Subbing on the Phantom Force, making myself a normal type to is exquisite, delightful, could not be better. So that was great, fantastic. I have now eliminated that Trevenant from the field. In comes Mammoth, so I'm just going to break my sub with an Ice Shard, but I have Power Up Punch, which allows me to smash that and get a +1 boost along at the same time. Unfortunately, Eric wasn't carrying Icicle Spear on this Mammoth. If he had done it, then it would have been to his benefit, because he probably would have been able to finish me off. But thankfully, he only had the Ice Shard, and I have Water Shuriken as my final move. So even though he could have gone for the Ice Shard there and taken me out from that range of HP, I have extended priority because of my speed being naturally higher. So, Greninja running train on this team, doing absolutely fantastic work. unfortunately it's going to be cut short because I'm going to switch it back out. I would like to keep it for later. Fake out, I'm not going to be able to live, and he is going to get the higher priority just because Fake out is elevated to +3 priority and is just going to go before my Water Shuriken anyway. That and the fact that I didn't think I would be able to KO him with a Water Shuriken anyway. So, go back to Rachi. Rachi is my man because it dodges high jump kicks, and ladies and gentlemen, it would not be a match against the Quanda Ren 66 without him missing a high jump kick. It kind of just had to happen, just for the sake of normalcy, right? It's just the way things are, and we know that nothing has changed between generations. You know, Eric started playing 6th gen, and nope, still misses high jump kicks everywhere. So I managed to finally actually hit a Thunder, which is nice, but unfortunately, yeah, his bad luck precedes him and continues to, you know, be very unfortunate. So in any case, he comes in with Greninja, which is able to unfortunately take Rachi down, but I need something to stop this Greninja, and that is going to be Machamp. Machamp at full health can take any single hit from the Greninja, provided that Rain isn't up and he goes for Surf. So I need to keep this thing in good health. It's really my best thing to take Greninja down, and I do not want to be messing around with it. So I bring it in, and I go for the Dynamic Punch, you know, not taking any chances here. In comes Electros, which doesn't take it kindly, but I'm not going to play with the Luck Gods, and I don't want to end up, you know, being slower and then him breaking out of confusion and being able to kill me, or not kill me, but, you know, do some solid damage to the point where Greninja would be able to KO me. So I pull the switch into Alakazam. I get lucky again because he managed to hit himself in confusion, and I'm Mega. And the reason I go for the bad play here, which is the Dazzling Gleam, is because I thought that he was going to switch into Greninja predicting the Psychic, which is really fucking stupid in hindsight because, first of all, you know, who switches in a Greninja to something as offensive as Alakazam, even if he is going to, you know, be immune to the Psychic? And secondly, even if he had switched in the Greninja to take the Psychic, I would have been already Mega the turn after he switched in, which means that I would have been outspeeding him anyway, meaning that I wouldn't have had to worry about it. But, you know, that's the case. I end up taking Thunderbolt damage for no reason other than the fact that, you know, I was being stupid and going for Dazzling Gleam. But in comes Heatran, doesn't protect his Scout, instead just straight up goes for Lava Plume to try and take Alakazam down, and is successful in doing that, but not before taking a heavy amount of damage from the Focus Blast. Makes my job a lot easier because it means that I think at this point, with a full set of Water Shurikens, I mean even maybe 4 would do it, to take down this Heatran with my Greninja. So I bring it in, ends up protecting, which I was like, of course he was going to do that, because he, by gaining more HP from lefties, is potentially going to live the onslaught of Water Shuriken, but it'll come down to a fine margin here. I just need to get him into the range where I can kill him with my Moltres, and the reason I'm talking about Moltres coming in and taking the Heatran down as opposed to like bringing in my Politoed. If I bring in Politoed, I set up Rain, and what that means is that his Greninja gets a boost, and it allows it essentially to KO me with a Surf. At least I think that's probably going to be the case. You know, I wasn't really sure at this point. I was like, I can't bring in Politoed, because if I do, I give him the advantage with his Greninja, and he'll be able to KO my Machamp with Surf because of the Rain boost, my Moltres because he's faster than it, and of course my Politoed will not be able to one-hit KO him, and he'll be able to two-hit KO me, and because he's faster, he wins that situation. So this is the reason I go into Moltres, and this is the reason I go for Hurricane, because I didn't actually have any other move to take him down with. I had like Hidden Power, I had Fire Blast, U-Turn. Hurricane was my only option, and thankfully I managed to hit it, allowing the Heatran to go down, but really at that point that was what secured it for me. I needed to hit that because it means that then I can bring in Machamp without fear of dying to a Surf or anything of that nature, and just be in a good enough position. So I go down to the Dark Pulse, as you see, with my Moltres to the Greninja, and now I'm going to go into Machamp, and hopefully, you know, no flinches from Dark Pulse permitting if he tries that tactic, and you know, none of that crits happening. If he crits me with a Surf, I should be okay to go, and I should be able to finish off the Greninja. And he goes for the Surf, and it's going to hit me, and is there going to be a crit? It's so close, but no. Fortunately, I'm able to live it, go for the Dynamic Punch, which shall take him down, even though it's not super effective because he's turned himself into a water type. It is going to end the game. So there we go. Great game against Eric. I really enjoyed that one. Some fantastic plays going on, and a tale of two Greninjas, if ever there was such a tale to be told. Do leave a like if you enjoyed. If not for anything else, then for that fucking substitute play on the Phantom Force. That is one of my prideful moments in a Wi-Fi battle. There are many great moments in Wi-Fi history. I would like to think that that one is among them. Of course it's not, but you know, in the grand scheme of me as a person playing this game, I enjoyed it greatly. So I hope you did as well. Leave your comments, your feedback, your everything in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video, whenever that may be. Goodbye.